Foreign capital, not only they are sufficiently available, but they are very, very cheap. Why? These are the two reasons. Okay. So because of policy like Q3, because of that, these two things are always good to take place. सब लोग comfortable हो या doubt है तो पूछ सकते हो. If you have any doubt, you can ask, please. Everything is fine? Okay. But on the other side, domestic capital is still not sufficiently available. Is still not sufficiently available, and that too, it is very, very costly. Very, very costly. Coming to now, this policy is normally followed where in the Western world, because every after 2 or 3 years, they face the problem of recession. Mandi aata hai. What is the reason behind the recession? Lack of demand. So where the remedy? To increase the demand. And for that, they start pumping money into the market. Q3 I have discussed detail. So because of that, more and more money they came to the market. So money supply of the country increase, and when money supply is increasing, the rate of interest starts falling. Almost fell to 0%, not 0.25. So foreign capital, global capital, why it is sufficiently available and why they are very cheap, you got the answer? Unlike that, domestic capital still I can say is not sufficiently available, and it is costlier than the foreign capital. Let me ask question from you. Today, if you decide to borrow from one Indian bank for making some investment, so what is going to be the minimum rate of interest charged by the Indian banks? Minimum rate of interest charged by the Indian banks, 10%, maybe 9%, maybe 11%. Okay, I will go for 10%, fine. 4 years ago, just before the lockdown, one of the Indian company, Reliance took $1 billion loan from Bank of Japan at a rate of interest of 1%. Reliance took not 1 billion, few billions of dollars loan from Bank of Japan at a rate of interest of 1%. 1%. Do you think Reliance will ever be getting loan inside India at this rate? Answer is no. 1%. So do you think this cheap level capital will increase profitability of Reliance? ये सस्ता जो कैपिटल मिला है, because interest is an integral part of cost of production, so definitely it will help Reliance to increase the profit margin. Now from the same bank, Bank of Japan, Government of India took loan of 88,000 crores. 88,000 crores for bullet train project. That is construction going on Ahmedabad to Mumbai, and their rate of interest was 0.1%. Government took 88,000 crores loan from the same bank, Bank of Japan, at a rate of interest of 0.1%. चलो माना वहां पे government is involved, but Reliance is a private entity whose main objective is to earn the profit. So global capital, why it is so cheap even today? So because of these policies, they are responsible. Yes, these loans are being provided, and not only the rate of interest is very low, but also terms and conditions are very easy. They are called soft loans. Delhi Metro, most of the finance came from the same Bank of Japan. Rate of interest very low, and already 20 years Delhi Metro has completed 20 years recently, and per day Delhi Metro is covering a distance of around 475 kilometers. It has almost covered entire Delhi, and gradually it is expanding as well. Per day, the total number of riders of Delhi Metro is breaking all the record all the time. it is now around 85 lakh per day. Total number of commuters using metro 85 lakh. It means Delhi Metro per day it is earning huge money. But whatever loans were taken by Delhi Metro to construct the metro, which is already in operation, generating revenue, but the first installment will become due in the year 2037. ये 2037 में पहला इंस्टॉलमेंट पे करना होगा. By then, Delhi Metro financially will become very, very comfortable. Do you think so? Do you think so? So not only the rate of interest is very low, but also the terms and conditions are very easy. Now, big organizations like World Bank, like IMF, like Asian Development Bank, so whenever they are providing loan, the rate of interest is going to remain in between 1 and 1.5%. 1 से 1.5% के बीच में होता है. हाँ, few countries are there whose credit rating is very poor, whose track record is bad. So on them, the rate may exceed 2%. 2%, maybe 2.5%, not more than that. What about China, whose policy is debt trap? China is giving a loan, purpose is to trap that country. जिस country को China ने loan दिया, वो country बर्बाद हो गया. Now the whole world has realized. And the first condition, that these things should not be made public. No one knows what is the rate of interest China is charging from the borrowing country. But it is speculated, it is in between 8 to 20%. 8 to 20%. Massive. Massive. तो ये सब कहानी है. तो domestic capital versus foreign capital. I am now concluding कि foreign capital, global capital, not only they are sufficiently available, but also they are very, very cheap. Okay? You got the reason behind that. On the other side, domestic capital availability is increasing, no doubt. But still it cannot be said that it is sufficiently available, and moreover, it is costly. अभी थोड़ा कम हुआ है. Right now, home loan rate of interest is around 8.5%, 9.5%. 10 years ago, it was more than 14%. 10 years ago, more than 14%. It has come down because money supply has a link with the level of production. Level of production that I will discuss under banking, because it's a commonly asked question from your side. Okay, sir, when RBI is printing the notes, what is the basis of printing the notes? किस आधार पे RBI note छापती है? Because when you go through the books, you come across with many pages like gold system, minimum reserve system, this system, that system, and you fail to understand any system. But overall, I can say, whatever the name of the method is, yes, the very basis of printing the notes is the level of production. Every economy has got absorption capacity. How much currency economy can absorb, it is totally depending on the volume of production. As the definition of money says, that money is a medium of exchange. Exchange of what? Goods and services. If country starts producing more goods and services, definitely country needs more money for exchange. Now, American GDP is 28 trillion US dollar. Ours is hardly 7 times more. So their economy can absorb more currency than ours. This is what we saw, कि $85 billion per month, यानी करीब 7 lakh crore. So continuously for 3 months, when this much of money was put into American market, American economy recovered. And if the same quantity of money is supplied into the Indian market for the 3 months at regular interval, what will happen to Indian economy? Yes. If the same 7 lakh crore money supply is increased for 3 months continuously by the RBI in India, what will happen to Indian economy? Yes, hyperinflation. Indian economy will be out of gear. उसके बाद control करना अभिषेक possible नहीं होगा. Why this is so? Because our production level is very low. When I started the first class, I told you, Only one thing is there in entire economy. Around that, everything is moving, and that is called production. The very basis of printing the notes, directly, indirectly, it is the volume of production. Definitely, if India GDP is increasing, India will need more money. More money. So all these things I will discuss under banking. Under banking. Right now we are discussing. Okay. Now come to this. So debt versus equity. Debt versus equity. One question I am going to ask. Equity versus debt. And think carefully and then answer. When you are investing in equity, you become the owner and your return is subject to profit. Low profit, no dividend, come profit, come dividend, zyada profit, zyada dividend. Okay, but if you are opting for debt, your return is fixed and compulsory. What is that interest? Okay, interest. Okay, now my question is, in the market, if the rate of interest is falling, which investment is more profitable for you? You will go for debt or equity. Take your time. In the Indian market, rate of interest is falling. So you will prefer to go for debt or equity. Interest rate is falling. All people, your answer is wrong this time. अरे interest कम हो रहा है ना? If the rate of interest is falling, so your return from debt will come down. But if the rate of interest is falling, interest is an integral part of cost of production. So production cost will come down, and when production cost is coming down, profit margin is going to increase. And when profit margin increasing, definitely you will have more dividend. Think carefully. It's a big decision. In the market, rate of interest is falling. Okay? So you will prefer to invest in debt or equity. ठीक है, जो आपको कमिट कर दिया वो मिलेगा, but it is going to gradually fall. Yes. If the rate of interest is falling, investing in equity becomes more profitable than debt. Because interest is an integral part of cost of production. So when production cost is coming down, it will help profit margin to increase. More profit means more dividend. So आपका return बढ़ेगा because you are equity holder. Okay? So be careful. When rate of interest is falling, so better to go for equity rather than debt. And vice versa. If the rate of interest is increasing, it is depending on the monetary policy of the RBI. Suppose RBI has followed the tight monetary policy. Yes, this has been the case for the last 3 years. Kept on increasing repo rate all the time. So rate of interest is very high. So when the rate of interest is high, what about return from equity? Which return will be maximized? If the rate of interest is increasing, you should go for equity or debt. When the rate of interest is increasing, better to go for debt. Because from here, your return will increase, or since cost of borrowing, getting loan is costly, it will increase the cost of production. Cost of production, if it is increasing, the profit margin is going to reduce, and low profit means low dividend. So interest is the guiding factor. ये आप note कर लो, आप ध्यान में रख लो कि whether you will go for debt or equity, the main factor is the prevailing rate of interest. Okay? And the trend. If the rate of interest is low, opt for equity. If it is high, go for debt. Okay. Now come to QE3. QE3. Now see the ill effects. Because of QE3, In the American market, rate of interest started falling and almost fell to zero. Never touch 0.25. Okay, now next question. Common people, low income group people, middle class income group people, they prefer to go for debt or equity. Yes. जो कॉमन लोग हैं, you can take the case of India. Common people, low income group people, middle class income group people, yes, they prefer to go for debt. Even today, an illiterate from India knows each and everything about the banks. But the people like you, how many among you knowing the functioning of share market? Only few? वो तो थोड़ा बहुत क्लास के बाद आपको समझ में आ रहा है. So the common people, low income group people, they prefer low income group people. Low income group people, and second is middle class income group people. They prefer middle class income group people. They prefer to go for debt. Okay. What about equity? Equity is preferred mainly by the high income group people. High income here means those who are able to take the risk. High income group people. We have to generalize. We cannot take the exception. So when rate of interest started falling, who are the real gainers and who are the losers? Who are the losers? Yes. Because of Q3, rate of interest in US market started falling. तो फायदा किसको हुआ, नुकसान किसको हुआ? Who are the losers? Because of policy like QE3, rate of interest started falling. So definitely they are the losers. They are the losers. Their rate of interest started falling. And when rate of interest start falling, people tend to move from debt to equity. But who were the major gainers? फायदा किसको हुआ? Who were the real beneficiary? So definitely high income group people. And on that ground, it was highly opposed. This policy of QE3, what it is doing, it is taking money from the pocket of the poor and putting into the pockets of the rich. Redistribution of resources or income in favor of the rich people. I don't think आपके समझ में आया होगा. Policy like QE3, it is highly criticized by the low income group people, middle class income group people, because they prefer to invest in debt rather than equity, because their ability to take the risk is very, very low. So they prefer to invest in equity debt rather than, and because of Q3, their return started falling, and yes, their return started increasing. Because when interest is falling, here return is going to come down and here return is going to increase. It's a redistribution of income in favor of equity shareholder. So that was the main ground over that. This Q3 policy is criticized. कितने लोग समझ गए? Yes or no में जवाब दो. Yes and no. You will have to apply yourself. You will have to apply yourself, isn't it? All are comfortable. चलो नहीं समझ में आया ना तो फिर जो है देखिए एक बार दोबारा वीडियो देख लेना. And then if there is some doubt, I will discuss again. Now come to again our main topic. FDI versus FPI. Our topic right now is a foreign capital and economic development of India. And since the beginning, we have relied heavily on foreign capital. 51 to 91, it was external borrowing that was given up in the reform. And then we moved from foreign borrowing to 91 FDI and 92 FPI. Let me now summarize. Policy of FDI, it is of 91. Those of FPI is 1992. Now both are similar in many sense and both are different as well. What is the similarity? In both the cases, we are using foreign capital, but they are different as well. In case of second point that you have already written, कि FDI is real, but FPI is financial. In case of FDI, three things they come to the country: capital, technology, and entrepreneurship. But in case of FPI, only one thing comes to the country, that is called capital. Capital. And because of that, FDI is more stable. Once they have come to India, they cannot go back in between because their investment here, all their investment will be lost. And that's why these words I have told you so many times, that their intention is to remain in the host country for a long period of time. But that is not the compulsion with the FPI people, because only their capital is involved, and moreover we have given them flexibility, so they are called very, very unstable. Their capital is called hot money. Anytime they can come, anytime they can go out. And so many examples, I have discussed world economy in detail along with application. In the name of globalization, what they have done, they have made the whole world very, very volatile. Very, very volatile. You have seen a change in the policy by the American government. It has its impact throughout the world, including India. Question is where? The answer is everywhere. Sir se leke pair tak. FDI versus FPI. Now the worst thing about FPI, worst thing about foreign portfolio investment, they will come to India only when Indian economy is growing. It is in recovery mode. If Indian economy is not in good shape, they won't come. तो हमारे देश में तभी आएंगे when we are recovering. शायद उस वक्त हमें उनकी उतनी जरूरत नहीं है. And once Indian economic condition is poor, these are the first people leaving the country and creating more problem for the government of India at the macro level. Till here, are you comfortable?